Good evening, welcome. This is the Marion City Council meeting for October 5th, 2017. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Roll call, please.
Mr. Draper.
Here.
Ms. Etzel. Present. Mr. Spinks.
Present.
Mayor Abawasley.
Here.
Mr. Brandt.
Here.
Mr. Nicholson.
Here.
Ms. Pazor.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we have a moment of silence. Thank you. Next on the agenda is a time for citizen presentations or comments. If there's anyone who would like to address the council on any particular topic, if it's a topic that's on the agenda, please save the comments until we get to that portion of the meeting, and you'll be given a chance to speak at that time. If you have something that's not on the agenda, please come forward at this time to address the council. Okay, since I don't see anyone, we'll move on to the consent calendar.
I'm doing them tonight, so. Does anyone want to pull on council, have anything to pull from the consent calendar for separate consideration? If not, then, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the items 1 through 30 of the consent calendar, including resolutions 26374 through 26405, excluding item 12F. I would like to pull that one off for a separate consideration.
Which item?
12F.
12F.
It's mostly.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar as presented, including items 1 through 30, and resolutions 26374 through 26405, excluding item 12F. Any discussion? No discussion. Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion passes, and then we have item F for separate consideration. Someone make the motion?
Yeah. Your Honor, I make a motion for approving resolution 26387, approving a partial payment number 8 to Cedar Rapids regarding the Indian Creek Trunk Sewer Replacement Project, segment 2, in the amount of $89,306.60.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 26387, approving the partial payment number 8 to the City of Cedar Rapids regarding the Indian Creek Trunk Sewer Replacement Project, segment 2, in the amount of $89,306.60. Discussion?
Well, at the, we talked about this earlier, and I just wondered what has gone on with this, Ryan. I guess if you got an update on where
this payment is separate. This is for the Indian Creek Trunk Sewer Replacement.
I realize.
We've had a plan with that. In terms of the negotiations for wastewater treatment.
Yeah, it all kind of ties into that.
It does.
Yes.
But we are making very good progress. Since when we last discussed kind of where the negotiations were, as well as their needs to connect to the city's system, our system, they have rapidly progressed. And so their goal, they told us, was to have this wrapped up by December.
Okay.
Because we have made it clear to them, staff has, that in order to connect to the Marion system, we need that agreement in place. They understand that, and they've said they have to do this, so. And the number that we initially were discussing, that very large number, that has decreased substantially.
Very good.
Yep.
Thank you for all your
So
efforts.
I'm hoping here in November I can bring you a solid document.
Yeah.
So it's decreased to a level that you think, that you're
It's
more
decreased to a
comfortable with, you
level
think
that
is more
we
reasonable?
can, yeah, that we can definitely absorb. Yep.
Well, even if we could absorb it, is it reasonable for what the services are?
And we'll go over that in detail, but
Yeah.
the biggest number, if you remember that, was buying the capacity. That number has come down substantially. If we were to do on a monthly basis, it would be slightly less than what we're paying now.
Great.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Back to the motion. This is for work that's already been done. Yeah. Okay. Further discussion? Does that clear up your question?
Yes. I appreciate your efforts on this, Ryan. All of those involved.
Okay, other discussion on the motion? All those in favor of approving resolution number 26387, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion passes. I will have Mayor Pro Tem do this next one.
Yes, Mr. Nicholson.
Yes, I'd like to give a motion to approve consent calendar with Mayor Abalosely abstention from voting and discussion regarding the following items as presented. Items number 31 and 32 encompassing resolution number 26406 and 26407.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Discussion on these items. Not hearing any. All those in favor of the consent calendar with Mayor Abalosely abstention signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to engineering. Ms. Bazur?
Oh my gosh, we got that far. Your Honor, I move to approve the second consideration of Ordinance 17-24, amending Chapter 100A of the Code of Ordinances relating to the establishment of access fees to the 2015 Winslow Road realignment project.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 17-24, amending Chapter 100A of the Code of Ordinances relating to the establishment of access fees for the 2015 Winslow Road realignment project. Discussion?
Has there been any comments, complaints, compliments, whatever, about this?
My office hasn't received any.
Okay. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor of approving ordinance number 17-24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion passes.
Your Honor, I move to suspend the rules and place ordinance 1724 for final consideration.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to suspend the rules and place ordinance number 17-24 for final consideration and to approve the final consideration. I think that's the motion, right? I mean, that's what you mean by the motion. Okay. Discussion. No discussion? All those in favor of ordinance number 17-24, final consideration, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion passes.
Your Honor, I have ordinance 1725, amending the chapter 100A of the Code of Ordinances relating to establishment of excess fees on Tower Terrace Road, Phase 5, 10th Street to Indian Creek Road, second consideration.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 17-25, amending Chapter 100A of the Code of Ordinances relating to the establishment of access fees for the Tower Terrace Road Phase 5. Second consideration. Discussion?
Any comments?
None that I've received. I don't know if planning has.
Okay.
Or engineering, so.
Would those comments go to planning or engineering normally?
Any one of the three of us, generally.
Okay.
Usually all three of us.
Okay. No discussion? All those in favor of ordinance number 17-25, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion passes.
Your Honor, I move to suspend rules and pass ordinance 1726 for final consideration.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded to suspend the rules and place ordinance 17-25 for final consideration and to approve the final consideration. Discussion? All those in favor of ordinance number 17-25, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion passes.
Honor, I move to approve ordinance number 17-26, amending Chapter 63 of the Code of Ordinances establishing speed limit on 35th Avenue as 35 miles per hour from 35th Street to Highway 13. And this is to add to the code section 5A-B, second consideration.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 17-26, amending Chapter 63 of the Code of Ordinances, establishing speed limit on 35th Avenue as 35 miles per hour from 35th Street to Highway 13. This is a second consideration. Discussion?
Any complaints?
That's a gravel road.
That's what I was gonna ask. It's gravel.
Currently.
Little bits of it are asphalted.
They are currently constructing.
Before the church is completed, hopefully we can asphalt the whole thing so the fire department can utilize that.
That's the plan.
So what was the push to make the speed limit high? Has someone request this, or?
No,
I believe it's just ASHTO standards for that type of a road based on land use and lanes and all kinds of other consideration.
I just wonder if it's too early, if it's still a gravel road, to put it up to 30. I mean,
It's
when I was-
closed right now.
What's that?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a
It's
kid,
just-
I used to love gravel roads and doing more than 35. But I just wonder if it's too early to bump the speed up on it.
Well, I think in the future, though, the Methodist Church is going to be, I believe, Tom, out at the end of that. Is that correct? At that corner of 35th, yes. So, we're going to do it anyway, and it is closed right now, but I don't see any reason not to.
Yeah.
Parts of it is little parts of, 2 parts of it are asphalt, and the rest of it's gravel, I think. Is that accurate?
Correct. I think it's seal coat, but same difference.
So it wouldn't make any difference. We do it now or later, probably.
Well, by putting it in now, when the whole road opens, it'll already be established, and it won't be coming back for parts and pieces and all this. It'll
There's not any.
be set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to let you
Give a
know,
comment, yeah.
there is no speed limit on that road at this time.
Currently, right. This is establishing a speed
This
limit
is
for the road.
establishing a speed limit, yes.
So
Boy, don't tell Draper that.
That's gravel, though. You can't.
that's what I thought, but I was waiting for one of you to say this.
If they just had a quarter-mile asphalt out there, I could use it,
Yeah, we better put it on there then, for Draper's sake.
Your last chance to go wild.
Okay, further discussion? All right, all those in favor of ordinance number 17-26, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion passes.
Your Honor, I move to place the speed limit on 35th Street for ordinance 1726 for final consideration.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to place ordinance number 17-26 for final consideration and to approve the final consideration. Discussion? All those in favor of approving ordinance number 17-26, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion passes. At this time, we have a public hearing regarding a request to rezone property north of Highway 100 on either side of 44th Street from undesignated to A1 rural restricted. And this is a request by the City of Marion. The public hearing is now open. Is there anything you want to update us on this, or we
Yes, this is the property that is north of Highway 100 on the west side of 44th Street and extending over to Moonier Road. This is the Hennessy property. And then east of 44th is the old city. There's a city site there on the corner of 44th and 100, and it's rezoning that to A1. This is property that was recently annexed, and it's currently not zoned. Per city code,
Right.
we need to have some zoning.
currently it doesn't have any zoning, so we're just starting with the basic zoning of
Absolutely.
A1 and then, okay. Discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. Public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this measure? Okay, seeing that there's none, is there anyone here to speak against or in opposition to this measure? Please come forward. Okay, seeing there are none, we'll close the public hearing.
Yes, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1727, amending the Code of Ordinances regarding a request to rezone property from undesignated to A1 rural restricted for properties located north of Highway 100 on either side of 44th Street. Request by the City of Marion, our initial consideration.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 17-27, amending the Code of Ordinances regarding a request to rezone property from undesignated to A1 rural restricted for properties located north of Highway 100 on either side of 44th Street. Initial consideration. Discussion? Okay. All those in favor of ordinance number 17-27, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion passes.
Your Honor, I'd like to recommend approval of resolution number 26408, approving Valley View Farms Third Edition and memorandum of agreement for the Potter Land Company, LC, for property located west of East Post Road and south of Highway 100.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 26408, approving Valley View Farms Third Edition. Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a plan for that area as to what it's going to be? I heard that this goes back several years, back when Mr. Potter wanted to put up apartments or condos in that area.
No, this is it's a small one-lot subdivision to split one of the homes off the larger tract.
Okay, so that there aren't going to be any tree loss, right?
No.
Okay,
It's just creating a parcel from an existing.
okay, we'll have to
Larger
look out for those trees.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
So will that house that's there, will that remain?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's the White House. I think there's mums for sale now there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the house. So currently that's a part of the larger tract, and they're wanting to split it off so they can maintain it as its own parcel. So I think there's more than one home on a larger piece. The Potter families lived there for many, many, many years. So
They have nice moms. Okay, further discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 26408, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, please say no. Motion passes.
Your Honor, I'd like to recommend approval of resolution number 26409, approving the purchase of property described as 3630 Winslow Road, Marion, from Marianne I. Armstrong and Richard L. Armstrong in the amount of $253,500.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 26409, approving the purchase of property at 3630 Winslow Road from Marianne I. Armstrong and Richard L. Armstrong in the amount of $253,500. Discussion?
Your Honor, I think, clarify this so that
Yeah.
it's understood that this is a part of that whole,
This is for the
Tower
Tower
Terrace.
Terrace Road
Yeah.
right-of-way. And
and it's necessary that this get purchased by the city.
anything to add to that, Tom?
No, that is correct. The portion of Tower Terrace Road goes through the property.
Yeah, I do know what's going
See? I agree with Mary Lou.
on. Okay. Also, where's my ordinance on the 130%?
You asked for that on Tuesday. I'm going to be working on it for you, though.
Any further discussion on resolution number 26409? Okay, all those in favor of resolution number 26409, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion passes.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion, I, Paul Draper, to reconsider the vote taken on the 21st of September 17, to adopt ordinance 1718, amending ordinance 1314 of the Marion Code of Ordinances, removing the limitation of hours of operation for property generally described as being located south of Tower Terrace Road, west of 3rd Street, east of Irish Drive, and north and west of the ESCO Company. And this would be the final consideration.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by Mr. Draper and seconded by Mr. Spinks to reconsider the vote taken on the 21st day of September 2017 regarding the adoption of ordinance number 17-18, amending ordinance 13-14 of the Marion Code of Ordinances, removing the limitation on hours of operation for property generally described as being located south of Tower Terrace Road, west of 3rd Street, east of Irish Drive, and north and west of ESCO Company. This is not quite accurate. We're not removing the hours of operation. We just changed them. I don't believe that what we passed removed the hours of operation.
We're removing the limitation of hours of operation.
But we didn't do that. I think we just changed them.
That's correct. It didn't remove them.
Yeah. So now what do we do?
Well,
Pardon?
yes or no?
Didn't have that on. Yeah, that's correct. It didn't remove. It changed the
I'm gonna ask for a
hours.
roll call.
You could say extending the hours of operation.
No.
Because currently you're only allowed to go to 11, so you can.
Okay. Well, I think if the motion is to reconsider that motion, so I think we can probably discuss and vote on this motion, but if the next motion is going to be made for final consideration, we should clarify the wording in that motion to match what was actually passed. Right? So replace the word removing with extending. Okay. Any discussion on the motion made by Mr. Draper to reconsider the vote that was taken on the 21st of September? I think that's the gist of the motion. Reconsider that vote. Discussion on reconsidering. We're not actually voting on the final consideration. We're just voting on reconsidering. So if you want to reconsider it, this is what the discussion is about.
Well, my understanding
Yes.
was that just by the very fact that a member that was not present could bring it up, being on the prevailing side, that you don't need that one step in there. But as I understand, the legal counsel over there has decided that it's necessary just to keep from muddying the waters, so to speak.
Yes, we discussed this amongst the entire legal team and determined that this would be the most proper course of action for this particular ordinance.
Well, I've seen it done the other way, probably more, well, this is the first time I've ever seen it done this way.
I was listed as a no vote, though.
You what?
I was listed as a no vote.
Yes, you were, and justifiably.
I don't want to get, I don't want to get into the Robert's rules and all that because we had the discussion on Tuesday, but I think under those rules, you would move to reconsider and then you would vote on the motion. So,
Mayor, with the idea of your point, I wonder how the first readings were on that. You know, you bring up this hours or whatever.
okay. Well, let's talk about this first. If people want to reconsider that vote, is there a discussion on that? You want to move to vote on reconsideration? Okay.
What's wrong?
All those in favor of the motion to reconsider the vote on the Tower Terrace ordinance number 17-18, which was taken on the 21st of September, 2017, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
Okay, we have 2 noes and 4 ayes. Correct? So, so it passes, right?
I'm sorry, you have 2 noes and 5 ayes?
Oh, 5 ayes, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
say 4, yeah. 2 noes and 5 yeses, so it's now placed back for consideration. All right, now you can make your motion and we can,
Okay, Your Honor, this is the final consideration and vote to adopt ordinance number 17-18, amending ordinance 13-14 of the Marion Code of Ordinances, extending the limitation on hours of operation for property generally described as being located south of Tower Terrace Road, west of 3rd Street, east of Iris Drive, and north and west of Esco Company.
Second?
okay, it's been moved and seconded to place for final consideration of the adoption of ordinance number 17-18, amending ordinance number 13-14 of the Marion Code of Ordinances, extending the limitation on hours of operation for property generally described as being located south of Tower Terrace Road, west of 3rd Street, east of Irish Drive, and north and west of Esco Company. Okay, discussion. Did somebody look back at how it was worded?
I can answer that,
Yeah.
Your Honor. Originally, we were looking to remove the entire limitation. The ordinance
Got it.
itself removes the original provision and then provides a substitute paragraph. So it extends or amends, but it does remove the original paragraph and then inserts a new one. So it's a matter of one word change, but it has been worded that way on all of the other considerations.
Worded as removing or extending?
It's been worded as removing. And then it removes the original paragraph and inserts a different one.
Yeah. Well,
So within the ordinance, it establishes the constraints that have always been discussed, the 1
the
o'clock.
ordinance we passed extends the hours.
Correct.
That's the bottom line, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Discussion?
Oh, I'm still against this only because I really feel that it's just a whim of somebody, you know, can just go in and change an ordinance because it's not to their benefit. And I think once an ordinance is set up, it's because there has been a lot of study and a lot of contemplation as far as that ordinance and what it means and what it covers. And just to, I mean, I think it opens up too many other possibilities.
Okay. Other discussion, sir? No? Oh.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, please.
Anybody out there want to discuss it?
Was there anyone here who wanted to address the council on that? No? Okay.
Mr. Draper?
Yes.
Ms. Etzel?
Yes.
Mr. Spinks?
Yes.
Mayor Abalosely?
Yes.
Mr. Brandt?
No.
Mr. Nicholson?
Yes.
Ms. Pazor?
No?
Passes 5-2.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I move to approve Resolution Number 26410, approving a memorandum of understanding regarding tax increment financing incentives for KTRO.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 26410, approving a memorandum of understanding regarding tax increment financing incentives for KTRO. Discussion?
Your Honor, there's something that bothers me about this, because I was under the impression that we gave TIFs for businesses that were going to be ongoing and hiring people to work, and this is the building of these condos that are
Contractor
garage
condos. Yeah.
storage area. And I mean, who's going to be working there other than people occupying them? So this bothers me.
You want to address that, or?
Yeah, under the terms of the economic development policy, there are a couple of pieces in there that allow the city to become involved when the other goal of building the commercial and industrial property tax base is met. So in a case like this one, we take a look at what the contractor may have originally proposed, which in this case would have been mini storage units that carry a value of about $45 a square foot. In this case, he had indicated an interest in potentially upgrading to a contractor condo, which is worth about $85 a square foot, but the numbers didn't necessarily work without a little bit of help from the city. So in this case, we're providing a 50% one-year rebate to help cover the cost of doing that upgrade, but we get that permanent increase in the property tax base.
Well, then my other
So
question
the incentive goes to real estate. It doesn't go to the business.
okay,
It goes to real estate, and it goes on incremental value that's added to that real estate that would not have happened otherwise. You would not have that incremental value that generates the additional tax revenue. So I think in this case, the incentive helped to generate more additional value that's being constructed on that property that results in more, but better development for the city, higher quality development, as well as higher tax revenue going forward. So that was the reasoning for the incentive, correct?
Well,
Am I understanding it correctly?
Yeah, and if, in this case, it's even a little bit more than that, because a contractor condo does have the potential for employment. You know, someone will rent that. They're often occupied by smaller businesses that are just starting out, versus mini storage that doesn't provide opportunities for employment for anything other
It
than
might be an
owner and
incubator
maintenance.
for a small business that then moves on and builds a bigger building and hires more people in the city.
what's the time period on this?
1 year, 50%,
1 year, 50%, okay?
correct?
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
It
Other
mentions-
questions?
It mentions no more than $19,000 from the city.
Okay, well, the thing is, the agenda doesn't state this, and I think, you know, there's folks here that weren't here on Tuesday and didn't hear, and the question is always there, well, here we go again, and
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I think that's a good point, that we want to make sure everybody understands everything and has full information, because that's how, you know, misunderstood facts, then that's how it becomes controversy.
thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, so. I appreciate you're always wanting to clarify things and make sure things are clear.
Yes. And I appreciate your appreciation.
Well, we can agree on that. Good. Other discussion on Resolution 26410? All those in favor of approving Resolution 26410, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion passes.
Yes, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve Resolution 26411, approving second amended development agreement with the Witzlitz Group.
What's it?
Incorporated.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 26411, approving second amended development agreement with the Witset Group, Inc. Okay, do you want to discussion? Do you want to remind us what this is, just for the
Yeah, the Witset
benefit
Group.
of everyone?
Yeah,
Thanks.
the Witset Group owns a 60-unit senior housing complex down off of Blair's Ferry Road behind the Casey's, and they participated in a program through the state of Iowa, through the Iowa Finance Authority, that provides tax credits for that project. But with that, it means that they have limitations on the income of the senior citizens that can live there. So because of that, the property can only generate so much income, and there's a special section of the state of Iowa property tax code that requires county assessors to only tax them based on a function of how much income they generate. So unlike most other properties where it's the market value or supposed to be within 5% of market value, these have, in essence, an artificial cap on it based on the cash flow of the business. The original development agreement, the number that was in there for the minimum assessment was higher than the amount that the cash flow that the complex can generate would support. So Lynn County is not able to do that high of a minimum assessment on it for the tax incentive that was provided. So this takes the amount, the $705,000 that the city was providing as match for the state programs, still that same number, but we're lengthening out the number of years that we can provide rebates to hit that $705,000, and we're also lowering the minimum assessment agreement that was in the original agreement down to the one that Lynn County would agree to.
So it doesn't increase the city's incentive, it just stretches it out in terms of the
It's over a longer period of time.
number of years.
Yep.
I have a question. All right, now this is specifically for senior housing.
Correct.
So if a low-income family came along, they could not live there, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That project is senior housing.
Yeah. And the Iowa Finance Authority will monitor that for 20 years, the term of the length of the housing tax credits, so the state will monitor it.
And I understand it's full.
Yeah.
Got a question.
Yeah.
On how will that affect the other units that have just recently been built or being built?
The other unit,
Will they come and ask the same thing?
No, the other unit, the parameters that were in the development agreement were already close enough that it's not a problem for them. This one just anticipated that the number was going to be a bit higher.
Well, plus a couple of them are not, they don't have tax credits, right?
I think the
they're
one
more
that
market rate.
Councilman Spinks is referring to is the one that's further out past the vault company
Okay.
on Blair's Ferry.
Yes.
That one also did receive tax credits. However, that one's being operated by a nonprofit, so their cash flow is a bit different.
Yeah, I forgot that one was
That's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, other discussion on Resolution 26411? All those opposed, all those in favor, what is all those in favor of resolution number 26411, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion passes.
Your Honor, I'd like to recommend approval of ordinance number 17-23 relating to public consumption or intoxication for final consideration.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 17-23 relating to public consumption or intoxication. Final consideration. Discussion. All those in favor of ordinance number 17-23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
Now, why are
Motion
you
passes.
not messing up this about drinking?
I'd like to move directing staff to proceed with the creation of urban revitalization district for Sunny Ridge.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded to direct staff to proceed with the creation of an urban revitalization district related to Sunny Ridge. Discussion.
Where
Where?
is this?
This is the, well, who wants to address this? Tom?
It's east of Highway 13, south of Prairie Ridge, north of Casina. So it's if you drive out there, Highway 13, you can see where, south of where Eldon developed years ago. And it was part of like Scott Meadows. It was some of that property that was purchased.
Well, there are so many of these these revitalization districts, names and stuff. I can't keep track of them. I mean, there have been so many that have come in, and the locations and all. Holy cow! I mean, I remember when Highway 13 wasn't there, and it was gravel, and I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Well, if you remember, this is part of some workforce housing. It's a workforce housing project. So there is a commitment by the city for it's like $1,000 a unit. So we use urban revite as a tax abatement instead of cash to provide that incentive. So no dollars come out of the city coffers, and it's just it's a tax. They just don't pay the taxes for a period of time equal to what we are required to participate for the tax credits.
Okay, well, once again, this is just for general information because it does not explain
Sure.
in detail.
Yep.
So, thank you.
So if it's full of 92 units, we would get $92,000 in tax breaks off of this unit? Is that what you're saying?
It's $1,000 a unit, yeah.
Yeah, so if there's 92, so there'd be $92,000 tax that we wouldn't collect on that. Is that?
Yep.
Is that the right math?
Correct.
Other discussion? Questions? None? Okay, all those in favor of resolution number, or the motion directing staff to proceed with creating an urban revitalization district related to Sunny Ridge, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion passes. Council discussion time.
I misspoke. I do have one
Do you
item.
have something? Okay.
Fancy that. I asked Tuesday Mr. Nelson about the credit cards, and he gave me a list and where they are located. And there are 20 credit cards that are out that are covered by Farmer State Bank. And now I don't know what the system that they use is, but when I use my credit card, when I pay for the amount, then I get points, and I can accrue points, and then this turns into credit cards or merchandise or whatever. Does this also go for Farmers State Bank? And if it does, who's accruing those points?
If I could actually answer your question, Mary Lou, it does accrue points, but they don't attribute too much. And when we do cash them in, we've cashed some in for two-piece knife set that is actually used in the break room. Those are the types of things you can get. The points really are hard to accrue because the way we currently have them, it's accrued per card and not citywide.
Well, would it be a benefit to have all the cards have the same number and then put it all in a mainly because I looked at that, what was it, 14,000 this last month for Farmer State Bank? That accrues a lot of points.
That's actually a major project that finance has been wanting to do for a couple years now. We just haven't had the time to do it. There's a lot of other benefits there.
Gee, I'm sorry I brought that up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate everybody involved with the Swamp Fox for a very successful Swamp Fox. The weather was cooperated, and it was a great, and, with the Marion market going on there too, I think that was a great day, and the fireworks and the all the music out. It was a great day. So I want to congratulate everybody on that, and also I want to remind everybody tomorrow, hopefully weather, allows us to, to have a good chocolate walk tomorrow night. Hopefully weather cooperates because it's a great event, and I encourage everybody to go out there, rain or shine. So that's all I have.
Mr. Draper?
Got all the way to me?
We'll come back this way.
Oh, okay. I too thought the Swamp Fox was a great event this year. The parade was fun, and I think the fireworks, I've had all kinds of people swear they're the best fireworks they've ever seen.
Yeah.
On the downside this week, on Sunday we lost an old-time business person in Bob Verheely. Bob was a partner with John Bauslag in Bauslag Verheely, competitor, friend, and he also was one of 4 owners of Hunter's Ridge Golf Course. So his son Dave now will have to take over that position, but that's a real loss. After the luncheon this week, I went back to the office a minute. I was proud that we had sponsored this little insurance company, but I was upstairs and we're re-wallpapering a room, and I noticed in the room we were re-wallpapering is we stripped 9 layers of wallpaper off that little room. Underneath on the plaster, it said wallpapered by A.L. Starbuck, September 1900. And we've framed around that now, and that'll keep that forever. But it led me to wonder what was going on in 1900. This old mine often does that. And some of the things are kind of interesting. William McKinley was president, you would remember because you voted for him, Slug.
But I didn't shoot him.
The growth in Marion, we were 4,102 people. Annual family income was $637. A loaf of bread was 3 cents. Gasoline was a nickel, but we only had 1 car in town. That was a gas-driven Stanley steamer that was owned by J.C. Davis, attorney and later mayor of Marion, and wrecked going across the Indian Creek Bridge when it was there. So gasoline didn't make a big difference. But Marion was a hub. We had the beauty of the downtown, which you can still review today, or go and walk 8th Avenue or Pucker Street as it was then, at the beautiful homes. What we've lost is the elm trees, which we had to go along with the other trees. But we had a spring water just outside of town. Marion got all her water. And in 1901, Marion was voted the healthiest city our size in the United States. And some of that would be due to this quality of that water. But then I thought of the chamber this week and the members they have. So I looked at the business directory from 1900 in Marion, Iowa. We had 2 dry goods stores, 2 hardware stores, 9 grocery stores. We had 2 shoe stores, 1 bookstore, 6 drugstores, 2 banks, 3 newspapers, the Register, the Pilot, and the Sentinel. We had 2 tailor shops, 3 jewelry stores, 2 furniture stores, 3 millinery stores, 3 blacksmith shops, 5 livery stables, 2 lumber yards, 2 photographers, 2 implement dealers, 3 barber shops, 2 restaurants only, 4 meat markets, 3 bakeries, 1 harness shop, 1 tobacco store, 1 pump shop, of course, the 1 cemetery, which we still have. We had 2 mills. We had, this one was 1 cigar factory, 2 clothing stores, 2 plumbing stores, one of which still has the name Marion Heating, plumbing license number 1, 2 steam laundries, 2 ice dealers, 1 bowling alley, which was below what used to be the Maid-Rite, 2 coal dealers, 6 carpenters, 2 painters, of which 1 was A.L. Starbuck, 4 dentists. That kind of surprised me as well. This one will get you 7 attorneys, 6 physicians, 1 veterinarian, and 1 abstract office. So that takes us back to 1900, which is a period not unlike today, when the city theme song could have been, "I have a tiger by the tail," because they were growing at somewhere near the rate we are, and must have been exciting times.
Thank you for that. Tim? Oh.
Yeah, remind everyone that next Tuesday afternoon is the governor, lieutenant governor are going to be here in town, and to see the dedication of the Cobbins Hervey building. So that's, I think, a first for having them both here in town. So put your best shoes on there, Mayor, and do that. Also, along with the chocolate walk, they are having a coffee house, music and coffee out at Lau Park Friday night. And then I was reading a letter, and I don't know if you all have looked at that yet, but there was a letter from Ellsworth talking about the bees and up in the Antique Mall building, and having also been a person that carries an EpiPen for a while. Maybe we shouldn't rush into doing that, because that's pretty serious. Sounds like you're worse than I was, but I hated carrying that pen, but you got to do it. So that's something to consider, having them localized downtown.
So how would that work with, people have to get a permit, correct, to raise bees in the city?
Correct.
Right? They have to have a special permit? And
Yep.
is the consideration then given to people who live in close proximity who have severe allergies?
So we've had, I think, 3 requests go to the Board of Adjustment regarding that, and if there has, as I recall, anytime there's been something like that that's been brought forward, the applicant has actually withdrawn the request if it was one of that's severe. So
but there is a process. There's
Absolutely.
a process for someone who has a life-threatening condition that
it's still up to the Zoning Board of Adjustment whether they want to issue the permit or not. But that they are the ones that issue the permit.
Okay, so if, say, a permit is issued, then what happens? Can the person who's affected, can they then appeal that?
The only appeal to the Zoning Board of Adjustment is district court. The council there's no appeal to the council. The council can ask that the Zoning Board of Adjustment rehear that case, but that's about the limitations. And I guess I'd defer to legal if there's any further, but that is my understanding on how that would work. So I'm sure the board would take that into consideration when they review it. So
Anyway, thanks for your letter to us there, Ellsworth.
So at what point is that taken into consideration in the process? Someone's request that it be, looked at more carefully.
Well,
because
the first thing that would need to occur, a permit would have to be applied for, and it would go to the Planning Commission. The Commission would review it and make recommendation to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. And so at the time of the hearing at the Planning Commission, that conversation would be had.
Okay.
Yeah. What if something like that did pass, and then 2 years later, we had someone that came forward that we maybe wanted to get rid of that.
I'd have to review the ordinance, but I don't believe I'd have to look at the ordinance to be specific, but I do believe there was there may have been a 1-year time frame for issuance and then a reapproval, but I can't recall if we did that or not with that ordinance. Sometimes we do that. But it's hard to do that. Someone makes an investment in providing a permit of that order, and it's.
Okay. We're done with that one. Okay. Well, I also want to echo the compliments to the Swamp Fox Festival Committee and all the volunteers, dozens and dozens of volunteers who worked on every aspect of that entire weekend. It really was a beautiful weekend, and it just made you proud to be from Marion. And I saw a lot of people from neighboring communities who came for it and were very complimentary. So I know it takes a lot of work to put those things on. So thank you to anyone who worked on it for reaching higher. We do appreciate your making our community look good. And Mike, I hope you'll relay that to the committee and the Parks Board and anyone who was involved with the weekend. Pardon? Well, all the sponsors, of course. Another thing is, last Thursday, Lon, Amanda, Amber, and I, along with Tammy from the Chamber, went down to Davenport to the the Iowa League of Cities conference, and I had the honor of accepting this award on behalf of the city, which is the All-Star Community Award. We should all be proud of this. It's just one more example of how Marion is being put on the map. We're being recognized for many different things. This particularly was for the amphitheater project. They did show a little video about the project at the conference. We were one of 3 cities. This is the most prestigious award of the Iowa League of Cities. And we were one of 3 communities who received the award by the league. And we were just very proud to be there that night. And people in the room knew what's going on in Marion. And that's something that I recognize now wherever I go is people know what's going on in Marion. They just know. They're noticing, they're hearing things, and it's all positive. It's all positive. I get a chance to speak and appear at many different functions and events throughout the corridor, and invariably what I hear is, wow, Marion is on fire. You guys have a lot of great things going on. You guys have so much good stuff happening in Marion. You're doing a great job in Marion. I hope we all recognize that, and I know I say this a lot, but we do have our challenges. We're not perfect, but we're on the right track, and people are noticing. We yesterday at the Chamber luncheon, another reaching higher, I think, recognition to see the level of professionalism in which all of those types of events have achieved. That the Chamber of Luncheon yesterday was, again, another very proud moment, and all those events just make us really proud. The speaker was from Des Moines, and in his speech and after his speech, when we talked, he couldn't say enough about how he would when he talked about, if you weren't there, when he talked about an idea that successful cities have implemented, he says, almost every one of them, all his ideas, he said, but you guys are already doing this. You guys already get it. You guys are already on the right track. He has noticed, like many other people. So that was very good to hear. Somebody from the outside who's an expert on cities of the future and what cities are doing to set themselves up for success in the long term for their future, not next year or the year after, but 10 and 20 and 30 years from now. What those cities are doing now, what cities need to be doing to set themselves up for sustained success And for him to say that we are doing all of those things was really, really wonderful to hear. We have had a number of ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, and we have some really exciting ones coming up. I hope people take a chance to come and participate. These are not just for the city council or for the chamber ambassadors with the red coats or for the people who are involved in the project. These are for the entire city. You know, we should all be proud of these. You know, while many cities are seeing decline, Marion is seeing our uptown revitalize and be on fire with new stores open. There's retail opening. When retail is on the decline in other places as internet sales take over, we're still opening retail stores. We have people who are showing confidence in Marion. They're building things. They're putting projects in Marion. They're investing their money in Marion. That should make us all feel proud. And I would hope that people would come out and celebrate these moments with the rest of the people who are there, the chamber and the city staff and the people who are involved in the projects. And Joe mentioned next week the governor and lieutenant governor will be here on Tuesday afternoon for the ribbon cutting on the Coben Hervey building for the business that is going in there and celebrating the restoration of that building. And with that, yes, sir.
On the 11th, ribbon cutting, Waldo's Rock Park.
Yes, that's another big one that's coming up. So,
I don't know what time, do you, Mike?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. Okay, so I continue to encourage everyone to be positive. Let's talk about our concerns and our challenges in a respectful manner that still recognizes that we are on the same team. We're all in the same community. We all have the same goals. We all love our city, even though we may disagree on some things. But let's continue to give each other the benefit of the doubt and to see the best in each other. Thank you. Have a nice evening.